How's it going, everybody? My name is Matt. I am the creative director here at Might Sound Wild, and today we're actually going to talk about creating moments on your shoots and how you can capitalize on each and every second this summer while you're shooting your portraits. All right, everybody, before we go on with the video, I need to tell you a little bit about the Might Sound Wild podcast. Each and every Wednesday, Ron and April, the owners of Might Sound Wild, jump on the podcast and they talk about a range of things, from who's involved in the company to what you can be doing as a creative entrepreneur to grow your business and grow a client base. A couple of weeks ago, I got to interview a friend of mine, Matthew Coughlin, who is a internationally published, world-renowned commercial and editorial photographer who has shot for ESPN, the magazine, Slam, New Balance, Nike, and the list goes on. But he told us a lot about how we could get into the industry, how he goes about dealing with his clients and maintaining relationships. It's a really awesome listen, and it ended up being a two-parter. But each and every Wednesday, anywhere podcasts are played, just type in Might Sound Wild podcast and you will find it. So let's get back to the video. So have you ever been on a shoot and just felt completely uninspired by it? You really weren't into what your client was wearing, you weren't into the situation you put them in or you got put in, and you weren't inspired by really anything around you. That happens to so many of us as we shoot portraits and as we go into the career of photography with a lot of our clients. We can show up and really just let it feel like a job. Now, not every client is going to just go with the flow or go with whatever you want them to do. But there are a couple of things that we can talk about to help you create images that you love and your clients love and help you make more money. Now, I actually did get a chance to sit down with with one of the owners of Might Sound Wild, April Loyal, and we had a conversation about this topic right after she shot a really incredible shoot that had lots of vibe and energy and lots of fun elements to it that really made some beautiful, beautiful images. But technical difficulties and stuff like that happens. The audio actually got corrupted and messed up, and we can't actually show you what we talked about, but I'm going to kind of break the conversation down in 3 parts here. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do when helping your clients and helping yourself create moments is find and share your inspiration. Now, I don't care if you use Pinterest or a folder on your desktop or a note on your phone or a series of screenshots in your photos folder or app on your phone, but capture and collect inspiration. There are many times throughout the year, throughout the day, where you see something in you, and I know it happens for me, something in you just goes, gosh, I really love whatever I just saw. I need to write that down. I need to take a picture of it, or I need to remember it in some way. And most of us forget to do it, but don't. I've tried really hard with myself to continue to remember to write those things down, or screenshot them on my phone, or put them on a folder or whatever, but share your inspiration. Now, I know April a lot of times uses Pinterest. She'll actually collect things that she is inspired by on Pinterest and actually shares that Pinterest board with her client. Now, with the client in this shoot, she actually sent her a picture that was, a mom in her bathing suit playing with her kids on the beach, and her client was very inspired by the picture, but she didn't know if she was very comfortable just being in a bathing suit. So they collaborated on whether or not she could wear a wrap or changing it up a bit. And that is the key to the inspiration, is it allows you and your client to collaborate to create and obtain the best results in your photos. Now, a key component to this is whether or not your client is inspired by the photo. If you send a series of images or something you're inspired by to your client and they say, hey, you know what, I'm probably not the person for this shoot, or that really doesn't look like me, scratch it, grab some more inspiration, find something else. Inspiration is endless when you're looking for it. But that's a big deal. Make sure your client is inspired. All right, now tip number 2 is something we should all be on board with and all be looking to implement in our pre-production process with our clients, because it's easy. It's something that's gonna be a no-brainer when you hear me say it or when you start to think about it. But ask your client to come as their most casual self. Now, not like the sitting on the couch eating potato chips kind of self, but their most put together casual self, because we've all seen those pictures of families on the beach. Dad's got his shirt tucked in, he's got a belt on, and it looks like he not only doesn't belong, but doesn't want to be there. But if we switched it up a bit and say, you know, Dad, why don't you wear a blank colored t-shirt and your favorite shorts and boat shoes or whatever, it really starts to change the atmosphere of the shoot in your client's mind, and ultimately helps you create the most casual and interesting and dynamic and lively photos of them. And that's what we're all looking to do. We're trying to capture our clients' most authentic self. Now, one thing I really like to do with my clients is and ask them to trust me with the process. Now, here's the last thing or tip number 3 that we have for creating moments, and that's being willing and prepared to coach your client. A lot of us want to or have or desire to shoot with models and not have to coach them, and be willing for them to give us a myriad of poses or situations or things that they're doing, or playing with props in the environment or whatever. But the reality is, when you're shooting families and you're shooting regular people, they do not know what to do most of the time regarding taking photos of themselves. So one thing you can do is say, hey, there's some times where I'm going to ask you to do something interesting or something silly, or it may feel awkward, but just realize that I'm trying to help you look the best that you can, and I'm not going to let you look silly. And all of these tips really come down to developing a relationship and a trust with your client so that you can capture the moments as they come around. Now, there are plenty of times where you get into the situation, things go one way, and you're trying to figure out what's going wrong, and nothing really looks right. And maybe it's just time to take a different approach, and being willing and prepared to coach yourself in that moment. Now, here's a bonus tip for all of you out there watching. If you do not know your camera settings, nothing I said is going to help you create moments in your images. If you don't know whether or not you want a shallow depth of field or a deep depth of field, or you don't have control over whether or not your shutter speed stays open for a long time, or if it opens and closes really quick, all of those factors are going to help you know your settings better, or excuse me, all of those things are going to help you create moments in your images because you're going to be prepared to capture them. Now, I put out a video not long ago about what your camera settings are and how to use them, and you can go ahead and check out that video if you need a little help on that. Everybody's been there. It's not a big deal. Even if you want to go back and watch it as a refresher course, it is free for you and available for you right here on the Might Sound Wild YouTube channel. But that's all I have. These 3 tips: share your inspiration with your client, make sure they're inspired by the ideas that you have for the shoot, ask your client to come as their most authentic and casual but put together self, and be willing and prepared to coach your client. And then that bonus tip, know your settings. Anyway, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you liked the video. If you did, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're trying to hit 100 subscribers right here before the end of the year. And as always, thank you so much for watching.